My name is Ava Gutierrez, and I started my AI education company in 2023. Since then, I've trained over 400 business owners on how to think and work with AI, including the coaches that train teams at Google, Spotify, Netflix, and Slack, as well as the executives at Fox, CBS, and Univision, and founders at 6 to 8 figure companies. Now, one of the most exciting updates in the AI space just came out recently, and it is not getting the attention that it deserves, and that is Notion agents. So for the past 2 years, I have taught people to just use ChatGPT. And this wasn't just because ChatGPT was a first mover and people were more familiar with it. It was actually for one single reason. ChatGPT had memory across conversations when no other AI platform had that. And what I would teach business owners is the number one mantra of AI, which is context is king in the age of AI. Context is the name of the game here. And ChatGPT had all of the context from their past conversations, which meant that it could give them much better advice. And the way that I would teach this is just by reframing it for them. So I would say, who do you trust more? You just hired a business advisor and you're going to pay them $8,000 a month to help you get your business on track. Who are you going to trust? You have two advisors. One advisor is immediately giving you advice. You've barely told them about your business and the problems inside of it, and they've already started to tell you exactly what to fix and how to fix it. The other advisor says, hey, look, I cannot give you a shred of advice until I look at everything going on. I need to talk to you. I need to look at your team's messages. I need to understand what you've done before, what didn't work, what did work, what is working. Then we'll come together and I'll start to put together a plan of what's actually going on here and what we need to do in order to fix it. Which of these advisors are you most likely to say, I actually trust that person's advice? It's obviously the second one, the person that has the context. And when we look at AI, we need to give it that same amount of context every single time we talk to it, which is extremely annoying, right? It's not ideal to have to give AI all of the context on your business every single time you start a conversation. That's where ChatGPT came in. Because it had that memory across conversations, I was teaching people how to set up their ChatGPT account with context about their business so future conversations could use that context as a foundation. That way, the way to work and think with AI became a bit more seamless. Now, more platforms like Claude and Grok have that memory as well, but I don't think it matters as much anymore. Now that Notion agents can have custom instructions, this is a massive game changer because what is inside of your Notion account? Context. So much context about your business, so much context about the emails that you've written inside of your marketing campaigns, the ideas that you've had, the to-do list that you have, the things that you've done in the past, the old products that you had. All of this context is inside of Notion, and that makes it the perfect place to think and work with AI here. So I spent the past week heads down building out my dream Think with AI agent. I have done something I never thought that I was going to do. I stopped opening ChatGPT and I started only talking to AI inside of my Notion account because now I have a place that has all of the context on my business. Now it has all of the context on the ways I like to think about my business. And I can put those things together and have a Think with AI agent that allows me to have the conversations that I've always wanted to have, but felt very segmented having to bring them over into ChatGPT. So here's a conversation I just had with AI thinking through my business, and I'm going to walk you through the conversation. And while I'm walking you through that conversation, I'm going to show you the Think with AI setup that I have that is supporting this conversation. So to start here, I said, I need to think through my business. The goal right now is to simplify things. For some background here, I have a lot of products. And these products are coming out because people are asking me for a lot of different things. In the AI space, some people want this, some people want a very simple AI crash course, Some people want to think extremely deeply about their business with AI. Other people just want to learn how to create AI setups so that they're able and capable of doing this on their own in the future. And other people just want AI trainings. They're just like, tell me cool ways to use it and I'll use it. And that feels a bit bloated for me. From a marketing standpoint, it's tough to say, hey, I do everything for everyone. This is kind of business 101, right? And so I've been feeling that heavily lately. So I was thinking, you know what? I really want to have a conversation around simplifying things with my Think with AI agent here. So inside of this conversation, you can see that we have AI thinking, viewing different pages inside of my account, thinking again after it's viewed those pages, looking through reminders. This is something that I'm testing actually, and I'll show you in a second. Thinking, then searching the reminders again, searching the Think with AI strategic prompts, and then searching the Think with AI frameworks. I'm going to get into these before the reminder section here. What I have here are strategic prompts that AI can pull from in order to have a specific curated conversation with me around a topic that makes the most sense here. So in this case, we're going to see that AI pulled the 80-20 prompt for me to be able to go through. But each of these is a prompt, some longer than others, where we're going to tell this Notion agent, hey, if this prompt is relevant to what the user is trying to go through, take them through this exact conversation. So this is really cool because now we're just saying, hey, here are trusted conversations that I want to have around my business related to specific topics as they come up. I want you to just pull them and be able to help me look through them there. The same applies here under the Think with AI frameworks. So what these frameworks do is give an easy way of seeing, like, for example, the 80-20 rule. How should I be thinking about opportunities looking through this 80-20 lens? What about the regret minimization framework from Jeff Bezos? So the difference between the prompts I just showed you and the frameworks here are that the prompts are curated conversations saying, hey, AI, start the conversation with this. Don't move on until you get this information. Once you get that information, say this to me, push back in this certain way. It's a very curated conversation, as if you hired an advisor that like really knows their stuff, and you don't know you're on a ride with that conversation, but they know, and they're bringing you through a whole thought exercise in order to be able to help you get to your solution or outcome. Frameworks are much less rigid. Frameworks are just very high level ways of saying, hey, here's generally how to think through this topic. Here's a framework of different questions or a different way of thinking about it that can help you start to find that solution or outcome that you're looking for. So for example, we have the CEO job description framework from Sam Altman's book. And here it's very simple, right? It's the only universal job description of a CEO is to make sure the company wins. So this, we're just having AI bring in to say, hey, this could be a framework that we think through. In this case, we're just going to follow AI's advice, and it's going to bring to me the 80-20 opportunity filter framework. So you'll see here that I also have this reminder that's being told to me based on this database that I'm building out. You can see here that it's not fully built out yet. So this is like a beta testing thing that I'm doing. So we'll ignore that for now. But the goal is for this to be able to get you into the right mindset as you're heading into this thought exercise, help you get out of any pessimism that you're feeling and into just optimism and feeling very in control and aware of where you should take things. So now we have our 80-20 opportunity filter that we will go through here. And you'll see that AI will tell me, it'll give me a quick rundown, just like a normal AI conversation would, except in this case, it's asking me, here are 3 different options of what we can go through. We have a framework, we have a prompt, or we have another prompt here that could be helpful for you. And then it will give you the recommendation of what it thinks that you should do. So in this case, it's like, hey, I think you should go with this 80-20 filter in place of the am I working on the right thing prompt or Elon's 5-step algorithm prompt that are inside of that prompt database I just showed you. So I agreed. I said start with the 80-20 filter, which speaks to you. So I said, I think 80-20. And I wanted to say here, tell me more what feels complicated. So or sorry, in this case, when I'm saying what would simplified look like for your business right now, simplified would be one product for free trainings. I do a lot of free trainings, workshops, etc. And I need a good product to sell after that that has a great marketing funnel built into it. But I also, as you can tell by this video, I'm loving this idea of Notion agents and being able to potentially bring business owners together to think with their Notion agent and then be able to think together. And so I'm ideating on this idea of this $2.99 per month mastermind where you can come in, get access to this initial agent build up or setup, and then be able to get more in the future on top of that community aspect. So here we have AI saying, okay, so we're looking at free trainings, AI crash course, Notion Agent Mastermind. Let's run the 80/20 filter on the setup. This should take about 10 minutes. So here I'm going through all of the questions that AI is asking me based on the instructions that I've given my Think with AI Notion agent here. So those instructions all live on this page where you'll see this page is set as your Notion AI's instruction page. The contents will influence its behaviors. And this is everything I have going on in here. So it'll start to make more sense in a second, but this whole conversation that we're going through is very curated based on those instructions. So we've curated based on the instructions of how we want AI to act, and now we've also curated it to say, hey, use this 80/20 framework that I have previously uploaded. So it's going to ask me a bunch of questions here. What are 20% of actions, inputs, or channels are likely to drive 80% of your results? And I said, hey, I've been listening to plenty of Alex Hormozi, so I think that if I spend 80% of my time on marketing, that should get this Notion Agent Mastermind off the ground in a pretty solid way. The AI crash course can be that 20%. It's kind of just there for these free trainings and workshops that I do where people aren't ready to dive really deeply and looking for that AI thought partner in their business. They will get there one day, but for now, I want to meet them where they are. So then we said here, question 2, what has proven to work well? I said right now, word of mouth for sure. For the Notion agents, I have 7 people that are interested that I'm going to be sending to as beta testers to just check this out and see if it's what they would be looking for from a thinking agent here. I put some here, and then I said here, speaking and training, a big reason for the AI crash course is trying to have just one thing that I can sell at the end of a training instead of a bunch of all these different things and trying to nail it every time. So we put all of that there. Question 3, what feels important but actually delivers very little impact? Is my response here. So here I started to just talk with AI about what are these things that feel like I'm doing a bunch of this daily business maintenance. It's not really moving me forward. And I'm bringing this up for a reason because we're going to see something really cool that this agent can do. So here I've listed 5 to 7 examples of daily business maintenance tasks. I have some personal information there, so I can't show you it, but it was about sending documents to the government and just like little admin business things, if you know, that you're just thinking, oh my gosh, like this is such a waste of my time to have to go to FedEx and send this out. I would so much rather be filming this video, for example. So I'll show you AI's response after. And actually, before I get into AI's response here, as I was typing out, these are the things that I need to do, these like maintenance tasks, I noticed, you know what? I'm being way too dramatic about this. Like, it's not that deep. These tasks are going to take like 25 minutes and then they'll be done forever. So I'm already over it, which is great. We want to think through with AI to help us get to these places on our own, but we also want AI helping us get to these places, which I'll show you in a second. So we have question 4 of 4 here. Like, here's what that ideal daily setup would look like based on this 80/20 breakdown and what would actually work the best here. So once I put all of this in, now things start to get interesting, right? Because as much as I love all of this AI help, like this isn't anything monumental in comparison to having a Claude or a ChatGPT conversation, right? It was really cool that it could pull the framework. It could look through all of the prompts and figure out the right one for me. But now what we're really talking about is what it means to actually think with AI. And so you'll see here, it's starting to say, hey, search behavior loops. I added a new behavior loop here. There's an evidence log entry that I created. And so what I want to show you is what this means. So inside of my Think with AI agent, I have instructions to help me with my founder psychology. And this founder psychology takes a look at my conversations and looks for an evidence log. So this is just the raw observations that AI is making about me as I'm talking to it, not things I'm telling it about me, things that it's noticing. It's also looking at my traits. So certain personality traits that I have that, again, it's observing. It's not asking me, do you have this? It's observing that I have it. And then behavior loops. So behavior loops are behaviors that we consistently keep doing, whether we want to or not. A good example is the classic shiny object syndrome or productive procrastination. And so here we're able to start to keep tabs and have AI call us out on these things that we do that we don't really realize that we're doing. So down here, I have my evidence log, and you can see log October 8th, 2025, the day of this conversation. And it's called Simplification Conversation Reveals. This feels a little dramatic. Let's take a step here, AI. How dare you? But conversation reveals catastrophizing pattern here. And we'll see here that the narrative being overwhelmed was more draining than the work itself. And so what we want to do is have this evidence log over time so that if I keep saying this or AI keeps noticing, it can point it out to me. And so this evidence log essentially just looks, it's like, oh, that's interesting. I see this thing happening. I'm just going to continue to keep tabs on it. It's not a personality trait yet, but it could be. Down here, we have our behavior loops. This is, for example, catastrophizing the grind. So thinking about business simplification, feeling pressure to focus on high leverage work, general stress about having too much to do, and being able to say, being able to say that I need to separate that narrative from reality, right? Like, here's the countermeasures of what I can do. Here's a description of how AI observed this. And then here's the triggers that we're seeing. And I love this, right? The risk level. How serious should I be taking? Making sure I don't fall into this behavior loop too often. So making sure that in this case, I am not saying, oh my gosh, I just have too much to do, when the reality is, if I really look at it, you know what, that one thing is going to take 20 minutes. Let me just bang it out and get it done. You'll also see here that it says active. These behavior loops are designed so that if AI doesn't observe them within 30 days, it will consider it an inactive behavior loop, something that you were able to overcome based on being able to see it and then observe it within yourself and make changes as needed. And then down here, we have my traits. So just in that conversation alone, it's able to say, hey, all right, it's looking like her traits are that she has clarity under ambiguity, she's action biased, she's looking at community as a retention engine, she has long-term vision, she's looking at building a bigger movement around the idea of AI versus something like small and quick, maybe just like an automation agency. She's a systems thinker. I get told this all the time. I'm very structured in my thinking. And then revenue conscious, being really aware as a business owner of how are we going to make money here? What is the profit margins? What are we looking at as a business? What is the marketing plan? Really being conscious. And you'll see here it says evidence count as well. So every time AI starts to notice this, it can say, oh, I've seen this 2 times. I've seen it 5 times. I've seen it 20 times. Starting to think about, what does this look like as something that is happening on a daily basis being observed about me? The valence as well, we can see, is it positive or is it a negative trait? And this starts to look at, what does it mean to really think with AI and have AI as this business advisor to you, where you can go through a conversation where you're just trying to say, hey, I want to think through this thing better. And as you're thinking through things, AI can pull this for you and help you see what you can't see in yourself. To me, this is the most exciting AI use case that could possibly exist for business owners. And so it's something I've dedicated the last 2 years of my life to. Now with these new Notion agent updates, it is just unfathomable to think of what we can do here with the amount of context we can put into here, both from the business side, but also what happens if this has been live for the last month, 2 months, 3 months, how much I can start to see and visualize my behavior patterns and how optimized I can become by being able to recognize things that previously were just not able to be recognized. So this is how I use Notion agents to think with AI. I am so excited about this. There is a link down in the description if you want to get access to this when it goes live. I'll put that link right down in the description, and I'll be posting more videos around how I use Notion agents to think with AI. So you can subscribe here as well for more videos coming soon.